Ready.
Hey, welcome to the Everyday Wholeness Show. I'm Karen Stultz, your healer for transformation, for coaches, online coaches, healing all of the things that may be keeping you stuck from moving ahead, from creating the awesome life that you are looking for, following the awesome life system and the heart energy techniques. We just make it a whole lot easier. And I'm here with my amazing friend, mentor, challenger. Janet,
I love that. Thank you. Hi guys, I'm Janet. I don't know what I'm like. Good to see you. Some of us aren't seeing us. But good to connect again. Interestingly enough, I am known as a spiritual guide, connector, intuitive teacher, and pusher, instigator, pot stirrer.
Don't you love some pot stirring? Don't we have enough pot stirring going on in the world right now, Janet?
Oh, don't you think? But I feel like, oh girl, you're opening a whole can of worms over here. You heard?
Okay. I know. I can hear it too. Go ahead, girl.
There are pot stirrers out there. I'm not the only one, but the thing is, I want to wake people up. I was woken this morning at 5 a.m. I'll get into it, but I want to wake people up to the idea that, you don't like pot stirrers, but a lot of you guys are pot stirrers, and that's why you don't like the pot stirrers. And
we are a mirror, right? We're a mirror for those things that we don't like. So we kind of have to look at those things and see what is it about it? Yeah,
exactly. And at the end of the day, and Karen will tell you, I don't have a tendency to participate in the good versus the bad and take sides. And I oftentimes am in a neutral place with things, a neutral state as I'm observing people. And then sometimes I have my moments where I explode, right? But the idea being, pot stirrers, a lot of them are out there stirring some stuff up to make a bigger mess. But where are my pot stirrers at that are here to help be part of the cleanup crew and bring awareness and whistleblow? And
well, that's what the Wholeness Show is all about.
Yes, wholeness. We know that one side of this pot is going to exist, but where is everybody else? My sister-in-law said it best. She said, we're getting to a point to where we're upset with what we have in our political state and seats. We're getting to a point where it might be time for some of us to run for office in our own specific regions or larger. It might be time for us to step into bigger leadership roles. That leadership role can be in your home. It can be as a parent, as a spouse, as a friend, as a coworker. But it is time for a lot of those older souls to stop hiding. And by the way, I used to hide all the time, and I still do at moments. So I'm calling myself out too.
I do. Yeah. All righty. Yeah.
But and really stand forward, walk forward, open the voice, start stirring some of your own pots. And by the way, some of y'all allow pots to stir within yourselves as it is, but we'd rather suppress. Don't look at that. Suppress. That's uncomfortable. Suppress. Don't play there. But there are coaches like Karen. There are guides like me. There are so many people. There are friends that you can confide in that can help you relieve some of this energy that's basically building up in the pressure cooker of your own pot you've been stirring with your minds and thoughts and belief systems that do not serve at this moment.
The worries and the fears that are being portrayed out there quite often in our media. And I don't like to lay blame or judgment, but you know what? Sometimes you have to be clear. Let's be real. It's important to know the facts about situations. And so you can come up with your own knowledge of what the situation is.
Yeah.
And we really don't need to have opinions thrown at us all the time. That messes up they are the pot stirrers that mess up our whole way of thinking.
Yes. And
And
then
it's like I was listening, Janet, I got to share with you
go, girl.
today. I was listening to not listening to, I had a Facebook post from someone who shared it. And the post was, the problem with the world today is that people have forgot to pray. People are not praying. And they are that is the problem with the world today. And I thought to myself, no, with every thought, every action, you are laying a prayer in the world. So it's very different. Again, like I said last week, semantics mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, is it praying in a church, saying your rosaries? Is that the only kind of prayer? I personally don't believe that. I believe that every thought we have is a silent prayer for
Yeah.
joy, for hatred, for blame, for everything. It's a silent prayer. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Janet?
Oh, yes, friend. I'm let me tell you what, I've had lots of silent prayers that come to fruition, both the ones you wanted and the ones you didn't want. But ultimately, it really was based on where my thoughts were at that very moment.
Yeah.
Even this morning, I woke up and I'm a pot stirrer. I believe I for fun, I love listening to the reading the Astro Twins. I don't know if you know who they are, but for fun, I love reading their little horoscope every now and then. I giggle because today's horoscope was, you're the deliverer of truth, but sometimes you give a pungent punch. And maybe your delivery could be a little softer. Hey, those
Oh, and you know what? That's great, because we are human beings.
Yes.
And even as Janet has shown to me, and I guess I always felt was so, but I did not have the connection that she has. I'm growing to the connection, mind you. Everybody can have this connection. It's just that we have kind of blocked it out through the years with spirit, with our guides, with our hearing. And the thing that I love about hanging with Janet is that our guides are fun. I mean, they are fun guys. You are so much fun. And they laugh at us, they joke with us, they show us the way that they teach us through humor and love. And that is the way I like to learn, through humor and love, knowing that you're being supported without being put down for your thoughts, actions. It's a non-judgment thing. It's just like, hey, girl, wake up, listen, and let's have some fun doing it. And that's
Absolutely. Absolutely. And one thing about getting quiet, and you said it, we're not meant to be listening to opinions and external stories to the magnitude of which we do, right? It's a lot. And so every time we do listen to the external story, or we do read an article, or we do come across someone's opinion, or we do get exposure to the media, or every time we're literally thinking new thoughts. And oftentimes they're based in fear. This morning, I woke up so early and started listening. It's been a new habit of mine to just wake up earlier and just listen quietly before everyone wakes up. And it was very interesting, some of the actual visions and things that were coming in for me about our current world structure and how dependent we are on each other, but yet we also have war going on. And these are very reflective of the things that we do with ourselves. You have to depend on yourself, but you'll create an internal war within yourself of right versus wrong, good versus bad. I performed, I did not perform. And we pull out, as my mentor often refers to, our measuring sticks to compare ourselves to the external things that we were exposed to on repeat. Again, be it a movie, be it an article, be it a book, be it our neighbor. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have the opportunity or the right to perhaps grow and stand in our excellence, that's something that older souls love to do. But comparing, and then comparing to the point to where we tear ourselves down.
That is the key. Being able to compare ourselves with ourselves from yesterday and not comparing to someone else, because when we start, we're all at different places. And when we start comparing ourselves to someone else, it's easy to tear ourselves down.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I kept thinking, dang it, how could I hang out with somebody like Janet? I mean, I don't have those connections. I don't hear, I don't see, but guess what? If you let go of the I don'ts and you just say, yet, and honor yourself where you are at this moment, because the fact is, and I like dealing with facts, the fact is, and it's a knowing in me, is that there are no coincidences. Everybody that we come in contact with, everyone we associate with, we have met these people for a reason, even if we don't know what that reason might be. And I am forever grateful for meeting Janet and all of the marvelous people that I'm meeting every single day, all of the people who comment on this Wholeness show broadcast, on our podcast, on our LinkedIn, on our Facebook, on our YouTube. We love it all because it's important to know what people like. And it's, hey, let's be honest, it's also an ego boost. I mean, I went to the hairdresser yesterday, and this girl is, I love her to pieces. She's hard to get into. I had to wait almost 9 months to get an appointment with her. Now I schedule, I'm scheduled 6 months out now. But it was such an ego boost. You know, the little things, like, I'm sure she says it to every single one of her clients, but she said, yesterday was Monday, and Monday I only have the best clients, because, you know, everyone complains about Monday, and Monday is not a really great day. So I make sure I only schedule wonderful people on Monday. Saying, okay, well, that's an ego boost. And oh my gosh, Karen, I love your hair. I love, love, love your hair. I wish everybody had hair like you. I said, I don't know. It feels coarse and hard. She said, yeah, but it's not too coarse and it's not too wiry. I said, oh, all right. I know nothing about hair, but you know, it's just, and yeah, I ended up being there for 2 hours, being uplifted in every way, shape, and form with the aromatherapy, the accolades, the everything. And it was heaven. It was my spa day. And right there in that one chair.
I love it.
And it's an ego boost. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with it.
My friend, I would love to bring some more information to that. It was also a reflection of how you view yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's moments where we'll go out and listen to this. We'll go out and we'll get a nice compliment, or we'll get something projected to us, and we'll stand in that for a moment and be like, oh, that was sweet. But we don't stay in a moment of gratitude for it. Yours carried on to today, which is awesome. Because let me tell you what, girl, since you carried it on into today, you're likely to continue to carry it on and continue to have these experiences, right?
That is my intent. Yes.
And many individuals, I don't know how many, like, give me a number. Many individuals, you know, they'll get that casual compliment, let it go, it's gone. But the second they get one negative comment, that becomes the whole new paradigm. They'll give it so much energy that is their new prayer.
Yeah. Yeah.
What comes next? More negative comments. And so it's fascinating how powerful we are. But oftentimes we're talking about powerful in terms of empowerment. I'm like, yeah, I'm a badass. Look at what I can accomplish. I'm going to do this. I'm a fantastic human being who can have limitless ability. And then we get up, and then that one thing comes.
And it brings it all down. Yeah.
In the dark.
It's all how you look at it too, I think. So to carry on from yesterday was such a great day, and I'm looking forward to this such great day today as well. I got a couple of podcasts posted, and it was wonderful. But I had planned on volunteering, and I made the decision that I preferred to get my work done in the morning instead of going to volunteer in the morning. Fine. And then I had my hair done, and boy, it was all good, all wonderful from there. And I said, all right, after the hair, I'm going to go and volunteer. And what it was basically a local place is going under construction, and they were needing people to help move all their stuff out so the construction could begin. And they needed help. So great. Any help that was available, they were grateful to receive. So anyway, I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And here I am. I'm 71 years old. Come on. How much help am I going to be? I could have just sat there and said, how much help am I going to be? Well, who knows? I don't know. I don't know what kind of help they need. And believe it or not, I can still lift a desk. It's okay. I can move a trolley. I'm pretty good at that. I have moved 5 houses of stuff. Not for work, but anyway, long story. Anyway, I get there, and things could have gone so south, but I get there, I park, there's no one on the street. I guess maybe because it's Monday and a lot of businesses are closed on Monday. I don't know, but there was no one on the street. I pull up in front of this moving van, or behind this moving van, and park. At the same moment, the people who were in charge of the move come out, and they're locking the door. And I said, what? You don't need any more help? They said, no, we're done. We're done. We had 18 people here this morning, high schoolers, and they whipped this out in about an hour and a half, and I'm returning the truck. Oh, it's done. And I said, whoa, so you don't need me at all? They said, we don't even need anybody tomorrow, which I had planned on going back in today. And this is wonderful. This is fantastic. And I thought, dang it, how cool. I wanted to help. I didn't know how much I could help. I was a little concerned, and it was all done. And if I had been 3 minutes later, I would have gone to the door, and the door would have been locked. And I'd say, dang it, they can't hear me. How can I get in to help? What's going on? Where are things? Yeah. And I would have gone home and been very dejected that my intention was not fulfilled. And yet everything just fell into place. And I knew what had happened. That lifted my spirits. I got to come home and hang out with my husband and go for a walk with the dog. And how wonderful. The whole day was just perfect, because there was no judgment involved, I think. It was simply allowing, letting it be, and all concerns were taken care of. And that's part of just feeling whole.
Oh my goodness, yes. Yes.
And I laid in bed this morning thinking, I should get up and help my husband do the chores, let the dog out, make the coffee, feed the wood stove. But I'm choosing to lay here in bed and just set my intention for the day.
Yeah.
And feel great about it. To feel the joy of whatever it is and recognize it for what it is and why it's showing up.
Yeah. That was what I felt this morning as well. I was very tired when I woke up early, but that was something else that came in, folks, is right now. And I know we've talked about this before, Aaron, like as humans, we don't run to clean our clean kitchens. We don't get on the floor to scrub floors that are bright and shiny clean. Typically, we wait until they get messy, till they get dirty, till they have smudges. And we're seeing a lot of that in our constructs politically, worldwide, and in our lives personally. And these moments arise for us to really step in and engage in our lives with solutions. And as those solutions present to ourselves or present to us, we have choices. Sometimes, right, there's the easy way to go about a solution. There are moments where I go into difficult steps towards solutions and I overcomplicate the process. But ultimately, my friends, I did feel this morning, there is more turmoil to come, more difficulty, more abruptness, more anger. And it's rising for a reason, and it's rising for us to tend to it, both as a collective people and world and individually. So one of the reasons this comes for us is because it is related to a purge. It is related to an upgrade. The upgrade comes because of the purge. And what's really important throughout all of this is you're going to feel it. My friend David texted me yesterday. He says, I'm hot. My head's hot and open. And I can see crystal clear. What's going on? It's a new upgrade. It's a this, it's a that. I'm going through an activation. He said, yeah, we all are. But the part that also comes with it sometimes is extreme exhaustion or some other interesting element that happens in the physical body for us to really start to integrate and make ourselves available to that next chapter. Or, someone's over here waiting for you. I'm sure someone's going to hand us our cleaning gloves too, Karen.
Yeah. Gotta have those.
Yep.
That's what we're doing, my love. That's what we're doing, my friend.
Exactly. And just start cleaning and being voices to help give guidance on what that looks like and how to get there. But the one thing that was so important that came in despite these turmoils and disturbances and things becoming more difficult, or perhaps more adversity and obstacles to come very soon. Love yourself. You might be in a scenario where you need to take a nap and you feel that you can't find the way to do it. Honor your body and what it's telling you. Your body is such a beautiful mechanism to bring information. It brings it in many different ways. Be it anxiety, be it intuitive visions, be it your internal gut voice, whatever you want to call it, spiritual, non-spiritual, it matters not to me. Your body is a mass communicator and it is a powerhouse. If you are in the middle of a diet and you are hungry, eat. Your body is asking you for something. If you've had a busy day and you're thinking, how am I going to now get to this soccer game and that basketball this, and now there's this activity, we promised to have a barbecue with the neighbors. If it's too much, stop. Honor yourself. Don't give priority to the social constructs of, oh, well, I should, or it would be polite. You come first. Honor the wholeness of you that way by simply honoring you. And in doing so, I almost promise you're honoring another human being in whatever they need to experience from that exchange as well.
Absolutely right on, right on. It is so important to listen and honor what is going on and recognize, yes, we do have a choice, and honor that as well. So
Yeah.
I choose not to listen to my body. I choose to go and do this, that, and the other thing. And I choose to get sick. Recognize it, take that responsibility for the choices that each and every one of us make.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that a lot of people don't do, especially now. There's a lot of blame game going on. And
Yes.
invariably, we have a lot of political discussions in our home and with our kids and whatnot. And the blood pressure goes up, and the voices go up, and my husband and I just kind of say, all right, tone down the voice, tone it down. Yeah, you're yelling at the telephone. You're yelling at the television. So, but what we always end up with, I end up always at the end of a conversation is saying yes. And what can we do? We can do whatever we need to do to have our vote counted. If we have the means, financially or physically, we might be able to do something that way by going somewhere or giving to someone or whatever. But the bottom line for the majority of us, it is to honor ourselves and do whatever it takes to feel good, not in the short run, not the Haagen-Dazs for a gallon of it to feel good, but something that will be good in the short and long run, which is why Janet and I are here to help maybe some of you recognize there are more options.
Yeah.
There
And
are better ways.
maybe the Haagen-Dazs like every now and then.
Oh, absolutely. You got to have it every now and then. Absolutely. Don't block it out, but to sit down and mindlessly eat the half gallon because things have gone bad, probably not a smart move in the long run. But in the short run, absolutely. Go for it, girl or guy, whoever is here. Absolutely.
Wherever it is.
I'm doing, I don't like that 4-letter word of diet, but I am doing a program. We'll put it that way. We're doing a program. And the key is in this program, eat whatever you want, but in moderation.
Sure.
And hey, that's my philosophy. Everything is fine in moderation. Yelling is fine in very moderation. Loving is fine in lots of moderation, but it's recognizing yourself. What can you do for you so that you can create that ripple effect that makes a difference in the world?
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. I have a yoga instructor. I'll call her out, give her some recognition here. Her name's Anna Gingrich, but she has this beautiful mat that she let me use one day that while we were doing private session. And in it, it had this one center ring, and the center ring almost functioned as a bullseye, but it was overlapped by other rings all around it that were all demonstrating ripple effects. And it was just beautiful to see how if you just honor that one center ring, get out of everybody else's rings, and you just stand in your ring with your knowing, your development, your goals, your values, your being, your knowing of self. And the more you self-actualize that, it's like the bigger you get and your ripple effect becomes bigger. And it's fascinating. As I'm sitting there, I'm having this whole epiphany, and I look up at her and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is you. This is who you are. I don't think you know I don't think you know this about you. This is who you are. You're like this Matt. And she's like, yeah, I don't get it. And so I think I get, I'll have to sit on that. And then I think I would hope I'm pretty sure she got it later, because I think we've had more discussions about it, but she ended up coming to my house. And while she was here, she was like, yeah, Janet told me this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, but girl, don't you get it? She's like, yeah, I'm here to like get people centered and like help them do this. And I was like, girl, let me tell you what, you get me to sit down. She's like, yeah, I know, I get you to sit down. I'm like, I don't think you know how important that is. Because I'm here to write books and I'm here to do things and I'm here to have momentum and trajectory. But if your ripple effect didn't exist and didn't get my ass to sit down, then I wouldn't sit down to do the work.
Exactly. Yeah.
Honoring self, guys, honoring that you are the biggest ripple. You are the biggest splash. But what do you do with that? And where are you putting your thoughts and your prayers and your thinking, your mentality?
Change your perspective, change your truth.
Yes.
That is, when people come to me with something that I just say, dang it, my husband was sent an email, one of those emails that we're down on our political parties and whatnot. And neither one of us enjoy those, but I said, well, you know what? That is a very interesting concept. It was being put out through the emails as if this is fact. The world is looking at the United States as ridiculous. And this is the evidence showing that, without any evidence showing it, except an opinion piece from a newspaper that was not identified by a writer that was not identified. Anyway, I said, well, the past me would have been saying, all right, this is absolute craziness. I cannot believe that this occurred, but obviously it did. It's in this, and this is horrible. This one, the new Karen, thanks to hanging out with Janet a little bit more, is and growing in my own work and my own healing through the work that I offer others now. It was, this does not compute for me. However, the possibility is there. And what I want to do is know the facts. What newspaper? And it was translated from a foreign newspaper, supposedly. And it was a case of, let's be real, when you translate things from one language to another, it doesn't always get translated in the correct form. That's a fact. Sometimes it does, not always. And so I said, all right, I'm going to research this. I'm going to research this. And so I go to a couple of research sites online, and we ended up finding the information at Reuters. It was a fact check from Reuters. And Reuters said, nah, it's total fiction. It was put out during the Obama administration with his name in there, and now it's out in the Biden administration with his name in there. And there is no newspaper in that country who will own up to ever printing this anywhere at any point in time. So the fact that it's been around since 2010 kind of indicates it may not be factual now.
Oh my gosh, friend, that just opened a whole can of worms.
Sorry about that, guys. It's just it's important to know what is being put out, and it's important to honor what is being put out, but not taking everything as gospel. And this goes with most anything.
Oh, absolutely. Like the very first thing that I felt was a bunch of ancestors coming forward. We've talked about this before. And this is such a time of purge. And I mean, guys, if you think of some of the stuff that we're purging right now, we're really just purging old paradigms, old belief systems, old constructs, old social things. I mean, even the amount of etiquette that's involved with just your daily existence of you being uncomfortable because it's polite.
Yeah. People pleaser, self-doubter. Here I am.
It's
no
polite.
More.
Yeah. Like I can't really go anywhere. I'd like to a restaurant and not sit with my leg up and things like that. You know, I've told you this before. But it's fascinating to me because all from something that was printed. Think about how many times we've done that, or we're parenting, or we're friending, or we're socializing, and we're literally doing it with the voices of the past and not listening to the present, current, true, inner voice of who you are. The voices of our friends and lovers and parents and grandparents and so on and so forth of past. And we make decisions based off of things that they learned because they learned it from their previous ancestor and so on. I mean, even, and I look at things like even spanking children and such, you know, there's such better ways to guide them. Not saying it doesn't have its place. If, you know, lots of psychologists can get involved here and talk if they need to, but there's just ways that we even, statements that we'll say to our children, just statements that we'll say to children that we literally just learned from our parents. So we repeat them.
Well, that's it, isn't it? Yeah. Mom and dad said this, that, or the other thing. I remember not knowing, not just trying to be a good parent. We went to an area where there was a riptide. I don't know if you know what a riptide is, but it's like it sucks you under, and you can't get back up sometimes. And so it's no matter how strong a swimmer you are, you could drown in a riptide. So I was trying to explain that to my 2-year-old, 3-year-old, that we had to be very careful. It was on rocks. And this is a beautiful place. And I want you to enjoy it. And it's a great place. But these are the things that we have to be careful of, because, of course, you know, a 3-year-old doesn't know what a riptide is. So I tried to explain that if he went into it, it could hurt him. It could keep him from living, and try not to get too graphic about it or anything. So, of course, in a 3-year-old's mind, there was a giant down there in the sea that would grab a hold of your legs and pull you down and never let you back up, and you would die. So I did not realize until he was in his 20s that he hated going there.
Wow.
He hated going there. He was so terrified. Anytime I suggested that we go down to this area, he would beg people not to go. He would do everything in his power not to go. He would throw tantrums not to go. And I never knew why.
Gosh, and that's such a perfect example of decisions that we make for ourselves from that infantile range of age. And we don't necessarily realize that we've made decisions as young as that in our psychology. It's imprinted. It has stayed. It would take a lot to rewrite that, quite a bit to rewrite it sometimes. Perspective, voice, but then it becomes such a blind spot sometimes that you don't even know. And what a great example of that too, because like in a whole other dynamic we're talking about, you were communicating, here you are, a mother, an adult communicating with a toddler. And similarly, there are scenarios where we're communicating with other individuals that may be the same age as us, but the filtration systems are not the same as ours, and ours are not the same as theirs. And so, literally, whose truth is wrong?
Yeah.
Whose truth is wrong? We'll sit here and we'll fight it to the death. Politically, especially, we'll fight it to the death. Whose truth is wrong, while not honoring the fact that their truth has absolute validity because of their past experiences and their current experiences, and our truth has absolute validity because of our experiences and our current experiences. But there is a middle ground that honors both truths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is interesting too, because I poo-pooed it when he was in his 20s.
Oh.
And now he's in his 50s. How did I get a son who's 50? I don't understand that. How did that happen? And
you look awesome, doll.
Well, ego boost. All right, Janet, I love it. But what I'm honoring as well is that the last time they were here, which was years ago, we went down. I said, you have to see this area. It's gorgeous. This is such it's a natural wonder, and it's so cool. So let's go see it. And he said, I was always terrified of anybody that I loved going there. Yeah. And he said, I was so afraid, but now I can look at it as the natural wonder that it is, and its beauty.
Wow.
And it's facing that fear and making friends with it, or if not friends, at least honoring it.
Yeah.
But taking people by the hand, recognizing that not everybody is going to have that trauma. That was a trauma for him.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah, small t, but it was still a trauma that affected him his entire life. Wow. Until now, when he finally said, it's okay. It is beautiful. And I'm so happy that my partner and my son got to see it.
Wow.
So these are all choices that we make. And if we're open to it, to create that wholeness, facing that situation that may be keeping us not whole, might be the key to moving ahead and honoring yourself and helping physical issues get better as well.
Yes. Yeah. And then, there's the component as well that even the fear itself is part of us. It's meant to be there. It helps keep us alive. It helps us measure our next jumps. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's a good indicator that it's time to take a next jump.
Yeah, absolutely. And honoring whatever it may be. And again, looking at the situation.
Yeah.
And not allowing the fear that is innate, our fight, flight, and freeze, that we all have, and it does keep us safe.
Yes.
However, sometimes that safeness is not what we need at the moment. So I love talking to my amygdala, Amy, this is what I want. Either help me and move me forward or step to the side. This is what I am. This is a desire. If you can show me a better way of doing it, great, do so. And if you can't, step to the side and let me find the people who can help me.
Gosh, I want that type of maturity with my amygdala, Karen. Oh my God.
Just
My
talk to her.
conversations are so different. They're like, oh shit, now what have you done? Like my heart's pounding, the stomach's churning. I have to go do this. Okay. And that, like I don't go into the let's talk to you calmly. I'm like, what have we done now?
Well, what have we done now? Get out of the way. This is not what I want. So you definitely didn't help me. So step to the side because I'm moving forward.
Calm yourself. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
So, well, Janet, we're almost out of time here, but thank you guys so much for joining us again today for the Everyday Wholeness Show that you can see on Facebook, YouTube, and our podcast on Podbean that you can pick up on Apple or all the major platforms. The Everyday Wholeness Show with Karen and Janet. And please make comments, like our show, wherever you happen to be watching it. And if there is something that may be creating a lack of wholeness for you, don't hesitate to reach out because Janet and I just thrive on it.
Believe me, guys, sometimes when those questions come in, they're actually for us sometimes. Sometimes I feel like, oh, was that question? That was my same question.
I tell you, I pull the cards for somebody else and I think, wait a minute, did I pull that card for them or for me? Yeah, that was exactly what I needed to hear. That seems like it might be for me. And it usually is because it is for more than one person.
It's perfectly created for all of us, and we'll hear our own unique message in it.
Yeah. And I apologize for my puppy.
Oh,
She
no,
must have
friend.
heard something, but
I love it.
and everybody on the third Thursday of each month at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, we have the Magical Tea Party where a lot of people are getting a lot of wonderful information from our dear friend Janet. So join us. You can sign up at karenstultz.com/tea party and to get notification of how to join us for that tea party. So, all righty. Thank you, Janet. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, my friend. Love to you. Love to all of you guys out there.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.